Chapter 4. Better and Better. Eva followed Eva 2.0, as she called.
Eva followed Eva 2.0, as she told
her in her head, through the park. She tailed her down several streets through Raven's Pass, until Eva recognized the wealthiest part of town. The houses got bigger. The lawns got wider. Each house could fit about 3 of Eva's small home inside it. Eva 2.0 walked down a cul-de-sac and Eva followed her sneakily. The wide-open spaces didn't give her many places to hide. Luckily, Eva 2.0 was so distracted by her phone that she didn't notice anything else. At the end of the cul-de-sac was a huge brick house with white columns. The front even had a curved driveway and a fountain. Eva 2.0 walked up the stairs and into the house. This is where she lived? This huge mansion? Eva leaned against a tree and thought for a moment. She'd heard about parallel worlds, but she never would have thought they could be real. Just as she turned, a car came down the street. It was a brand new SUV. Eva watched as it pulled into the curved driveway and parked. A woman got out, and Eva almost fell over. It was her mom, only this version of her wore a tailored suit and heels. She had her hair in an elegant updo and a haughty expression on her face. This new mom left the car running and rushed up the steps into the house. She left the door wide open. Eva was suddenly curious about what else was different here. She bolted to the front door. Eva peeked around the frame to see if anyone was watching. She didn't see anyone. She snuck in and turned into the first room she could find. She was clearly in the library. The room held hundreds of books on wall-to-wall built-in bookshelves. At a different time, Eva would have lost herself in that room, reading the titles of all the books. Instead, she listened for voices. "But you said we could," Eva heard her own voice say. "I know, honey, and I'm sorry. There's just too much to do at work.
Too much to do at work.
Make it up to you.
I'll make it up to you.
I promise. Use the card to get that game system thingy, okay?" Eva's mom's voice said. Her voice seemed hurried and a little impatient, not at all like her own mother's voice. Eva 2.0 sighed and said, "Fine, when is Dad coming back from his trip?" "Next week, dear," said Mom 2.0. "Have Jenny fix you something to eat. I have to get going." Eva heard purposeful steps walk down the hallway and out the door. Then she heard her own frustrated voice yell out, "Jenny, I'm going to ride Buckley!" A door slammed and the house fell silent. Eva wondered who and where this Jenny person was. She knew she should get out of the house and try to find her way back home, but she was so curious about this other version of herself and this life that she lived. Eva walked quietly out of the library, onto the lush carpet, and down a long hall. She passed several rooms, a music room with a harp and a grand piano in it, a sitting room with luxurious couches, and what looked like the entrance to a whole other side of the house. At At the end of the hall, a huge staircase took up a big part of the room. On the other side was a giant fireplace and cozy furniture and blankets all around. Eva was mesmerized. She decided to go up the stairs to try to find Eva 2.0's room. At the top of the stairs, she turned a corner to go down a hall and bumped right into a blonde woman. She had a wrinkled face and wore jeans and a sweatshirt. I thought you were going to ride Buckley, the woman said. Eva stammered. Buck. The woman in front of her rolled her eyes, but there was kindness behind it. Never quite know what you want to do. Do you? She patted Eva's shoulder and moved towards the stairs. I have to finish cleaning the kitchen, then I'll make you some dinner. Homemade mac and cheese sound good? It was Eva's favorite meal, so she grinned and nodded. The woman winked. Thought you might like that, she said. Sorry your parents aren't around again, sweetie. With one last pat on her shoulder, the woman walked down the stairs. That must have been Jenny. She felt a little relieved to have run into her. Now she knew she could get away with looking around. She walked down the hall, peeking into bedrooms, until she found what was surely Eva 2.0's room. The room was enormous, with a large bed on one end. It had so many pillows on it, Eva could barely see the headboard. On the other end was a sitting area tucked into a bay window, and a huge closet and a vanity dressing table took up another wall. Eva walked to the closet and peeked in. She slid one of the doors over and gasped. The closet was an entire room, filled with clothes, shoes, and bags. Eva had never seen so many clothes in one place outside of a store before. She dove in and started looking through the hangers. There were so many items that Eva had always wanted, but were too expensive for her parents to get her. This new Eva seemed to have everything she'd ever wanted. Envy welled up inside her. Why did Eva 2.0 get everything she wanted? For a minute, Eva stood still and thought about it. Technically, this was, well, her. If the parallel worlds thing was real, which it certainly seemed to be, then taking things from herself wasn't really stealing, right? Eva looked around and saw a large bag on the floor. She stuffed in 3 pairs of shoes and some shirts, skirts, and jeans. She walked out of the closet and closed the door. There was a big TV and game console on the other side of the room. She hadn't even seen it when she first walked in. She went over to the TV and saw a brand new game console in its packaging with a few the games she'd heard her friends talking about. This Eva had an old gaming system and hadn't even opened this new one. Eva pulled at her lip, trying to decide whether she should take that too. Finally, she stuffed it in the bag with everything else. Out of the corner of her eye, she also saw the water bottle that she had always wanted. On impulse, she grabbed that too. Eva 2.0's parents could buy her a new one. Eva rushed out of the room with her new
with her new things.
She slipped out of the house quietly and walked quickly back to Main Street again. By the time she made it back to Main Street, Eva was pouring sweat, and she still didn't know how she would make it back to her own world again. Now she walked towards the alley she'd come out of, wondering what to do. 2 blocks before she got there, a glint of light caught her attention. She looked down the alley and saw a swinging metal sign that said, "Dreams Come True Shop." There it was again. Eva was baffled. She walked down the alley and opened the door to the shop. The proprietor came out and said, "Welcome back. I assume you're looking for the dressing room?" He motioned to the back, and Eva just nodded. She didn't have time to question anything. She wanted to get back to her own world. She hurried to the dressing room. Sure enough, there was the mirror with the hinge. She swung it open and stepped through. It was the same dressing room she'd been in before. Eva breathed a sigh of relief. She was home.